Hello there. I'm back with a little bit of drawing. I've fixed some of the issues that this image had the previous time. I've removed didn't remove the color. I put it into a new layer, and I somewhat fixed it with that. I'm not incredibly happy with it. I think it could be looking much nicer, but it's as good as it's gonna get right now. So my next step will be just coloring things. Again, I've separated the color into a different layer, but I think for now I would prefer at least trying out what it looks like with just a flat color. I think going with the kind of almost felt tip pen approach last time, it was nice, but it looked a little bit odd to me. So I'm gonna try to do it without that. So I'm just gonna slowly color back in, whatever was colored last time, and then continue from there. I'm gonna try to keep this, I guess, quick. Obviously, I'm gonna kind of keep the edges clean as I can. But yeah, I think with a flat color that then through shading and through other effects can get a little bit more depth is probably the right choice for, I guess, me returning to drawing. I'm gonna try that. I'm just gonna keep it very simple, very clean, I guess. It could look too clean in the end, I don't know. It could look kind of clinical with, I guess, no brush strokes visible in the coloring. And if that's the case, then maybe I have to decide to do it the other way around after all. But for now, I'm gonna keep it like this. I've also played around with the bubbles a little bit. There isn't really something I've been incredibly happy with. Bubbles are very hard, and obviously if you do it in a normal way, you have a lot of distortion effects and stuff like that, and that is something that is quite hard to do. And I don't know if it really fits. I think this is more of an, I guess, closer to an anime style drawing, and I don't know if I want like distortion bubbles in there if everything else is at least somewhat simplistic. Okay, here with the eye, I don't actually know what color this I guess inside of the eye is supposed to be. I assume it's usually, I guess, flesh colored in humans, which is not even a nice word to pick up. But with this very bright flesh, I don't know if it's maybe supposed to be the same color that I ended up doing the lips in. Obviously now the lips are back to being unshaded. Oh no, I guess the shading remained. So I'm gonna have to see if that shading can remain there, or if I'm gonna remove that later on. I'm probably gonna, if I do so, remove that between drawing sessions, because it's gonna be a little bit iffy, and I might have to redraw the lines of the mouth when doing that. Well, it definitely feels a little bit weird drawing with this extreme of a contrast, since I have this this teal blue and then this very sharp red on top. It almost looks like there's a 3D effect happening when I'm drawing. Like, it looks like there's a drop shadow below this. Oh, there isn't a drop shadow, right? Yeah. It looks like there's a drop shadow just because these colors interact so harshly. For a moment I was worried that I was drawing on a layer that maybe had a drop shadow added for some reason. That wasn't the case. Just a normal ass layer. Alright, yeah, the full thing right now looks like this. To the side there's the bubble that I was playing around with and testing stuff with. I'm still quite proud of it. I'm obviously upset that my line work doesn't look as crisp as it did before I had to restore it. But that's good enough. I'm happy with that. And so for now I'm just gonna continue coloring this. It almost looks a little bit, I guess, is it Roy Lichtenstein-esque? The artist who did the very much... maybe I'm thinking of a wrong person. No, I think Roy Lichtenstein is the artist that did print work. And print art, very much women's faces a lot. And who has a really unique, or had, I don't know if they're alive or dead, who had a really unique way of coloring patterns. I mean, you might have seen it before. It's the kind of very much dotted, I guess, shapes. It almost looks like basically very evenly spaced dots to color an area to make a pattern. It looks very cool. I did again about 15 years back. I was really enamored with that style, and I made a t-shirt for myself with that style. I might be able to find that somewhere. Both the t-shirt and the artwork. I added a quote to it, and I think in the end I should have done it without the quote. It looked much better without it. But my general idea there was that I really wanted to make the artwork integrate into a colored shirt. So I had a yellow shirt, and so I went off with the idea that the yellowness of the shirt should be, I guess, the color of the hair. So I did, instead of bordered hair, I made it very open and then made it continue into the shirt. It kind of looked like only a face that then and then the entire shirt was the hair. I think it came out all right. It could have been a lot better. I was happy with it at the time, but I think afterwards there was room for improvement. I think a little while after that I also got a similar shirt that I bought from an artist, and that one was so much nicer. It was so much better. But it was also a very much a different approach. It was instead of, I guess, comic art or manga art, it was very much, I don't want to call it real art, but like a painting. Looked really nice. One of my favorite shirts right now because it's really big, it's really comfy, and whenever I have something stressful coming up, like when I had exams in uni, I would always wear that shirt or that pullover, and it was so relaxing because you can kind of completely hide in there, and especially with exams, it's kind of nice to have. Oh, just want to, thank you, go to the side. Especially with exams, it's kind of nice to have the ability, or to at least feel like you can hide somewhere and be isolated from everything else. I think I started that when there was an exam I was especially scared about, so I started wearing this big ass hoodie, and from then on, for every other exam, I would always go to the same hoodie, which is nice, but it is a very, very thick hoodie. So in summer it was just unbelievably hot. But then without it, I would feel a lot more anxious. So it was kind of a bad trade. All right. Okay, I think I'm mostly done with, or almost done with the face. After that, I can go to the tentacle part of this and start coloring that in a bit. And then I'm basically at the... Oh, I guess the eyes are not done. The mouth isn't fully done. I've already completely forgotten what the mouth looks like. Scroll down. It looks fine. I'm gonna keep the shading there for now. I might remove it later on. It might turn out to not fit, but I was really proud with how the mouth turned out in the first place. I think it looked really, really neat, really picturesque, and I was very happy with that. So I would be kind of sad getting rid of that. All right. I don't know if this... I guess this inner structure is still part of the face, so I'm just gonna color it the same way. I'll probably want to go from left to right, because the way I'm doing it with the eraser, I don't want to make it smaller and larger depending on what I'm erasing. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, that works. So I'm basically on the right side of where I'm drawing. I'm gonna just cross the lines, and then I can occasionally erase those parts. I guess on the left side a little bit. But this way I don't then have to worry, like if I want to draw something else, like if I want to color these, I guess, forehead tentacles, I can then do that in a different color and on a layer back, so that it turns out like that I don't have to worry there about crossing any lines, because these lines that are then already protected by being on an upper layer and fully colored already. Alright, finishing up the tentacles, or the, I guess, is it tentacles? Maybe antennas is the more correct word. Finishing up the antennas here. Very nice looking. Quite like this. Yeah, it's definitely a very different look from before. I can try to show the previous look in a bit once I'm done with this part, just as a comparison. I think right now it probably doesn't look incredible, especially the comparison, because previous part obviously had a lot more character to it. But I think in the long run I'm just making it unnecessarily hard for myself if I'm drawing something that has this much, I guess, effort in every step, and then I'm not good enough still, or I've never been good enough to then also make the effort look good, I guess. Ooh, okay. It looks so vibrant. It looks so aggressively red. Looks really cool. Okay, I'm gonna show the comparison real quick. This one's the new version, and then this one was the old version. I mean, the eyes are obviously stunning and not currently there. I'm just gonna make a new layer, and I'll call that layer white. And on that layer, I can then do both the eyes, and I guess I had a specific color in mind for the eyes. I had I'm coloring it in. Oh, am I on the wrong thing? Oh yeah, I'm on a razor. So if I'm coloring it in it like this right now, I think it looks a little bit too aggressively white. I think I had a slightly, like, obviously you don't want beige, because then beige looks kind of sickly. But maybe at least not a clean white, but oh, I haven't switched the color around. Okay, let's hope this doesn't look bad. Yeah, I like this. I think it's more of a, I guess, pearl color, which might work a lot better for an eye like that. I'm also unsure what to do with areas like this, where I didn't actually finish a line. I guess I have to think about it eventually. For now, I'm just gonna treat it like there is a line, even if that line is invisible, and then eventually later on, I'm gonna color that in. Alright, let's get the teeth filled in. Just one line. Alright, already it looks a lot better. I guess the eyes and the teeth having the same color is that how things should be? I'm not sure. I can try having this. I already have one layer called Bubble, so I'm gonna make a layer called Bubble 2. And I'm gonna pick some of the bubbles and just give them, I'm gonna take the ones up here. Obviously they're not supposed to be this, I guess, iridescently white. So I'm gonna give them some opacity. But I'm gonna see how that works once I color stuff in behind them. And then I can just see if they're overlaying too much, if they are too, I guess, dominant, or if it looks kind of odd, or if it happens to work. These are the bubbles behind the halo. And then slowly I'm gonna put bubbles in front of it as well. Oh, hey, Val. Yeah, last time I've drawn was, I think, in 2013, maybe 14, somewhere around that time. Obviously since then I've been busy with university, getting a job, and I've never been very proud of my artwork. So I kind of stopped it. I did a lot of different styles and always would spend, I think there was an image I spent probably, let's say, 60, 70 hours on. And then in the end it would come out and it would be alright. But I would just always go for something where I felt like, oh, it has to be perfect. And doing that would be extremely stressful while doing it, while drawing it. And then afterwards I would look at it and be like, oh, I should have done things better. And here, these lines are not quite as I want them to be. Like, instead of drawing something that is kind of appropriate for what I'm doing at the time, I would always go for something extremely advanced. Like, instead of doing flat colors, I would immediately go towards very, very specific and extremely detailed and shadowed stuff. And yeah, I don't think it was a very good idea. I think it led to me being disappointed with not being perfect from the start. And I think, as with many hobbies, that kind of destroyed it for me, because I would end up being disappointed that I wasn't perfect from the start. Oh, you don't want to go through that hell? Do you still have university planned and in front of you? Or is that something you're thinking about? Yeah, let's go for eye color. I think I preferred the previous eye color. I'm just gonna quickly check what it looked like before I did this. Oh god. Like this. I kind of like an amber color. Alright, I can take that again. Let's make a new layer for the eyes. Just layer layers on top of each other, so that in the end... Yeah, this is kind of the eye color I had. The eye color I really wanted. I guess I'm getting close to having to think about what the space between eye and face, I assume, is supposed to look like. This tiny area here. I don't know. I don't actually know what it's called. I might know it in German, but definitely not in English. It's gonna be something like the fulcrum. So I think that's part. I guess I can go back to the white layer and just add in the highlights for the eyes right now. They might end up looking different. Oh no, I forgot that I'm above the other layer. Just like this. Oh, you want to do law? That's interesting. Yeah, currently I did a lot of playing around with the lips, and unfortunately I lost a lot of progress, so it looks... I don't have the different comparisons now. I think they are in earlier stream videos. But I did the color flip and tried to do them, I guess, lighter than the rest of the skin, and that looked absolutely awful. So I'm happy that I at least recovered this version of the lips, but I'm gonna have to go over them in detail again and figure out what to do there. But yeah, law is pretty interesting. When I started with university, I also did law. Like my parents very much pushed me towards that and said, oh, it would fit you so well. And I did 2 or 3 semesters of law, and I did not enjoy it very much. I'm quite glad I didn't continue with that. I ended up doing biology, which ended up being much nicer, even though I'm still not using that in my job at all. And yeah, it does take time. I definitely could have had time to play around a bit. I think there were, or to not play around a bit, but to continue working on drawing stuff. There were definitely times where I then applied drawing in other areas. I did work for the university where I drew stuff like 5 years after I had last touched a drawing tablet. And that very much... It was very nice, because at that point it was kind of the first time someone else was like, oh shit, that looks really good. But yeah, for some reason I then never continued that. But yeah, especially after university, now that I have a job that is it is a nice job, but still, it's not super creative, so it's nice to have something, or to still be able to fall back on something as an outlet. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna go with kind of white for the big sashy things. I probably don't want to do the exact same. Maybe white is a bit too simple. I'm gonna play around a bit. Let's see if I'll just make a new layer for the sashes. I'm quickly gonna call that sashes. All right. What color would be really fun? I think a dark purple could be interesting. So Val, with you want to do law, do you already have like a place figured out where you want to do that, or is it just a rough plan at the moment? Maybe that's too dark. I want a lighter purple. I'm gonna try it with one of the smaller side things at the beginning, just to see what it looks like. I think obviously when I started university, I was at a point where I was moving away from home for the first time, living on my own for the first time, having a suddenly large amount of responsibilities that I didn't know what to do with. So I was very much overwhelmed with that, which then also led to me maybe not enjoying it as much as I could have done later in life. I assume, like, if I would go back now, I would probably enjoy it a lot more, because I would kind of know how to exist outside of that. But I was very much concerned about finding friends, finding people to do stuff with, being far away from home. And that was a rough part. I think even more rough than I guess starting adult life is then the switch from university, or I guess a school system in general, to doing a normal job. And I guess it depends a lot on what kind of job people do. I assume there are jobs that are, like, if you do a postdoc or a PhD in general or something like that, then you're probably still in a similar system, so it's not as stark of a difference. But if you do something, I guess, more akin or more akin to a 9-to-5, like a very much a standard job, and you can get kind of shell-shocked by how much of a difference it is, how I guess nobody gives a shit about you anymore. Can be really rough. Definitely was for me. I'm glad that right now I'm at a place where I'm kind of content with all of that. And my job is nice. The people out there are nice. And I'm definitely valued for what I'm doing. But yeah, before I found this job and before I found like right after I had finished university, oh, I'm losing the image to the side. Yeah, it was definitely a lot harder. It was just a stark switch between I guess it also depends a lot on different school systems and different university systems. I know that in the US, going to university is very different from going to the university in Europe or other parts of the world. And yeah, it can definitely come as a shock. All right. I'm not sure if I like those colors. I'm gonna have to revisit them maybe later on. I'm gonna continue maybe a bit more with this red. I'm just gonna see what I can turn maybe things that are closer to the head into. I think I definitely know that I wanted to turn the halo-y part into a yellow-ish halo. I can do that right now. Just gonna pick a yellow that is not too bright. I don't want this to look, I guess, gaudy. So, halo, new layer. Maybe that's not bright enough. I might have to revisit that later on. Luckily, changing colors is very, very simple, as long as the layer for the color is flat. I guess I can now also play around a bit with the red and see if I like a different color more. Let's see, adjustments, and then hue or saturation. Alright, this is... Pink would be a little bit too much. Purple could look cool. Blue is... Blue I don't like. I think teal is fine. But teal is kind of overused as a skin color in media. I quite like this kind of demonic red that I have going on right now. But yeah, it's not supposed to be all that color. I might have to try to do some shadowing later on. Right, back to the halo. I guess with the halo, that's a little bit of an angelic theme into the entire thing. Quite like staying at the, I guess, accidental sea theme that I ended up with. So very much ooh. Now this yellow looks very much gold. I might like that. Maybe I want something more white yellow, so that it looks a little bit more cloth-like. Nah, I think I'm good with this. I like it. I'm dreading the bubbles to the right a little bit, because then I have to figure out how I want to continue behind or below them. If I want to treat them as solid objects in the front, which, I mean, they could be. They could be like kind of onyx balls that are floating in front of the face. Oh, I went too far. I can't reach anymore. Or if I want to treat them as see-through bubbles, in which case I then have to think about what to do in front of or behind them. I think for now I'm gonna treat them as see-through, so I'm just gonna continue the line as it would be behind that. I might have to do some additional line work with that, just do obviously not a full line, but a kind of approach on how it might look in the how it might look in the future. Yeah, I mean, I worked not that much with the sea at university. Funnily enough, we had maths, but not the, I guess, not serious maths, but math for biologists. which was kind of a less intense, less serious version of maths. It still was a lot, I guess, statistics focused, but it was also, it happened outside of the university building, or in the part of the marine labs, and the teacher was also a marine biologist who I guess was somewhat qualified to give maths lesson, but everything would be herring related or mackerel related. So everything would be like, oh yeah, you have this population of mackerels and they are multiplying with, I don't know, this per year, but then there are these adverse effects that are happening to them, and now you have to calculate what the population will end up like in 10 years. And so everything was to do with fish. Everything was fish math. And the building would be, I mean, it was directly above a fish vendor, like a large scale fish vendor, not like a shop where normal people can go in and buy stuff. So it was very much welcome, this is biology, I hope you like maths and fish, because those two will always be linked for you forever. Ooh, I think there's some line work here that I forgot to expand on when I recovered this area. These kind of jutting out lines, I definitely had actual lines there later. I think this might look really, really cool if it's really colorful, but I'm also worried that if I make it too colorful, it looks up gaudy more than it looks nice or beautiful. Alright, let me test out those bubbles again. Just put up the opacity back to 100%, just to be able to color them correctly. Once they're colored, I'm gonna set them to 50% again and see what the halo looks like behind them. I guess, yeah, Photoshop was something that I did continue even when I didn't draw. So it's something that I'm familiar with, but not in a professional sense, more in I kind of almost figured out a few things on my own. Never had any actual Photoshop lessons. So I think with in some areas I'm just doing things really inefficiently. And I'm not sure if you're supposed to have hundreds of layers all the time, because for every step I'm worried that I might need to revert later on. So I'm adding another layer. All right. Let's put this to 50%. I also have no idea how to actually use masks. 50. I don't think I like this. I might have to play around with the bubbles a bit more. I'm gonna leave it as is right now. But yeah, it looks like instead of a bubble, it is more of a, like, it almost looks like glasses that are weirdly overlaid up there. Definitely doesn't have the effect that I wanted to. Oh no, there's also a Twitch person I can't ban because I accidentally opened their context window. Now it's just there. I have to figure that out at a different time. Okay, back to maybe the flat red layer. Maybe it's gonna be a layer below that. I'm gonna name that tentacles. And this is the area that I want to draw in. I think those feel like they should be a little bit darker than the rest of the skin. Maybe a little bit more purpley. I'm gonna try this color. Yeah, this could work out. Ooh. Yeah, this definitely works out well. I don't know, it weirdly feels like things like these, I guess, bulbous tentacles need to be darker than the rest of the skin. It feels like the rest of the skin is, I mean, texture-wise, supposed to be very leathery, and these are then more like, I guess, innards? I don't know why it feels like these need to have these colors. I'm gonna see how it looks like when I zoom out again. I hope it looks nice and beautiful. I mean, so far, drawing this has been so massively enjoyable, and it has been turning out so much greater than I thought it would. I'm definitely looking forward and just doing a lot more stuff later on. Yeah, I think this is a fine color. It's definitely a color that should probably show up more often. I don't want these sideburns maybe to be the exact same color. But maybe a few of the background tentacles need to be this exact color. So I'm gonna go for the little one back here, way in the distance. I think most of the actual head related stuff I'm gonna make in red or red related colors as well. Now I'm gonna mostly draw over the line here and then slowly fix it. I don't know if like I lost most of this and had to slowly recover most of it from, I guess, JPEG images that I saved in between. And I think, especially in this area, the line work just looks very blurry and fuzzy. I don't know if I like that. I think I might at some point have to sit down and just slowly redraw all of the line work here. Probably not on stream, because that seems like it would be just insufferably boring to watch. Not like this is the height of entertainment. But yeah, I definitely would prefer, like, I don't know if I can find an area. I assume up here, yeah. You can kind of directly see here on the right side the parts that I recovered from a JPEG, on the left side the actual Photoshop quality, and it just looks so different. It looks just like a completely different image. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take hours, but it's I can put on a show to watch while doing that. Yeah, that's about it. That's about all I can do. Put on a show and then just redraw all of this. I mean, I had some audio issues in my earlier streams with this, so they might not be a joy to listen to. But when I drew most of this, it didn't take that long. It took like three hours maybe 3 or 4 hours with all the line work. Oh yeah, that looks kind of nice. I think these ones in the front need to be a different color. Do they need to be brighter? They might need to be brighter. I'm gonna go for a slightly lighter white. Go to the doctor regularly? How do you mean that? Alright. I'm gonna put those below all the tentacles. Oh. Yeah, Yeah, I've got a very nice chair, so I'm not worried about that. Oh, looks really nice. Oh yeah. I thought about making the entire face green, but obviously then a green thing with like these tentacly appendages that is very close to a certain Marvel character. So I didn't want to get too close to that. Oh yeah, but it looks so nice. Pretty. Well, I guess in this area I kind of have to figure out what the hell I meant with these different lines. Did I mean to have this in front? Or did I mean to erase those later on and just never got to it? Well, I guess it looks fine like this. I think shadowing will have to do a lot of work here. Alright, time for the... I just genuinely have no idea what this, what color this crystal thingy is supposed to be. I'm gonna leave that for a long time before I can decide what the hell it's supposed to be. I think for the areas in the back I probably want a slightly darker red. Maybe this color, maybe probably similar to the color I used for the eyes. I'm gonna use another layer. Blue for the crystal or blue for the tentacles in the back here? And if blue, do you mean more like a lighter blue like the background, or a darker blue? Kind of as a... what would that be? Azure? I guess I'm gonna try a few things. I don't know if the, I guess, yin and yang kind of effect will stay there. Let's try a few blues. So we have a darker option here. Oh yeah, lapis lazuli. I think that would be almost close to this already. Maybe a little bit darker. I'm gonna try something like this. Oh yeah, I think with a few nice highlights that could look really good. The problem is here... oh yeah, when I recovered this from from the JPEG, I think the lines kind of got messed up. So I might just have to... Alright, before I go in here and work with something that I don't super enjoy, I'm just gonna quickly redraw this part, or redraw the lines for this part, because here is definitely this gray area is supposed to be transparent, but obviously it isn't, because the JPEG doesn't have transparency. I think it's going to be much nicer to just quickly redraw the lines here. Let me see if I can still have the... I think this was the pencil I used, or the line I used for this. Yeah, I guess roughly like this. I don't know if it was this opaque, but I guess I'll go with this. I guess this non-opaque. Ooh, green could be nice. I think green might mesh really well with the turquoise background. I guess now that I have it a certain color, first I need to figure out which layer it's on. There it is. This layer. Unfortunately, it's on the same layer as a bit of the other stuff. So I'm just gonna zoom in a bit. So no, I'm gonna do it zoomed out, then just change the colors around, and we can kind of see which color is the nicest. So this would be more of a green. Obviously, ignore the changing blue tentacly parts in the back. I guess you can do it more or less saturated. I think if it is green, it needs to be a lighter green. But yeah, green works kind of well. Yellow could work. Might mesh well with the halo. Red definitely not. No red shade here. And I mean, I like blue. Maybe this +8 blue is kind of nice. Yellow and blue both are nice. So let me quickly... I'm just gonna steal the blue that I already have going on up there. Oh no, I have to redo the pencil again. It was 50 and it was 100% opacity. Alright, let's try this. I mean, with the blue a little bit as a highlight, I think this definitely needs more highlight to then also look cool. I'm gonna do a quick layer above this. That's just the playing around layer. And then we can play around with highlights a little bit. I assume I need a new pencil for this. So let's do it 30 pencil with... Let's do 30% opacity as well. And then with white. Does it look nicer like this? Yeah, I think I quite like this. Obviously, this is just the playing around layer, but I think with a nice nice shimmer effect added on later on, and maybe something like an opposite shimmer. Let me grab the yellow again, go a little bit darker, and then here on the other side. No, I don't think it needs that. I think that looks silly. Maybe with a little bit more texture added on later on. But I think that looks kind of nice. I'm gonna keep that in mind, and I'm gonna stay with this yellow. I guess next would be figuring out what the... Oh, I see. I want a layer that doesn't exist. I don't quite know what the area around that would be. Like if you imagine, I want to say a human, but don't imagine a human with a crystal laid in their forehead. And if you think about something like this, what color would be natural or normal to have? Oh yeah, for a lot of these I'm getting the issue with the... I'm gonna try to go really far in. Oh no. That becomes a little bit too extreme. But yeah, there's the issue with the JPEG, I guess, artifacts here, where the instead of a smooth exit, it is the, I guess, dark gray that is then supposed to be the opacity, which doesn't really work if you actually are drawing in the layer behind that. So I'm gonna have to do most of the line work again, but yeah, that is something that I can do in my off time. Not that this isn't also my off time. So if you think about it, if you have, I guess if I look at my fingernails, the area where like something else, like a non-skin object is in your skin, which I guess this would be kind of inlaid into the skin itself, it is a little bit darker. I guess it's very similar to these nubs around the forehead tentacles. So let's try that color here. Might not turn out to be the best fit. Wait, am I in the same layer still? Yeah, I probably want to be one below that. Oh. Don't want to have to take these layers apart eventually when I realize that I want to redo things. Just like this. Maybe this darker isn't really correct. It looks fine though for the moment. I think now it desperately needs some shadowing to the side here. Like if I go into a different layer and do some opacity again, then I can kind of try showing what I mean. Oh, I'm still below that. Top layer. There we go. Oh yeah. Something, I need to go even darker with that. Something like this, where it then feathers out on approaching the forehead gem, I guess. That will be really nice. I'm already looking forward to shadowing now. When I was drawing the lines, I was looking forward to coloring them, and now immediately after being finished with that, I now I'm looking forward to shadowing. Alright, while I'm doing that, can I figure out how to... Oh. Oh, hey, Heaven 2. Yeah, I'm streaming both on YouTube and Twitch. I hope I didn't completely miss your message. I was trying to ban the person above you who was advertising, and I couldn't figure out how to close that window. I kind of looked up the user, and that user was just there. I was stuck with that. But yeah, it does seem like, at least on... It doesn't seem to happen on YouTube for some reason. I mean, maybe the obvious reason is that people on YouTube are less concerned with view botting. Is that a thing? But yeah, every single time I stream, there seems to be someone who jumps in and is like, hey, buy views now. Watch for free or cheap. And I assume it's probably it probably makes sense. Like if you want to, if your goal is to become a big streamer, then you probably want a large following or a large view count at least, so that then Twitch is more likely to recommend your stream, and then more people start watching, and eventually you go from having a botted audience to a new audience. But I don't quite know how Twitch's algorithm works in that way. Oh, what happens here? Oh, I was still on the razor. So I assume having more views gets you promoted more, which then leads to more views. So if you, I guess, kickstart your stream by viewbotting, I'm very much not recommending or endorsing that, but I assume it is kind of playing the algorithm at that point. Although, I think after my first or second stream, I got a nice message from Twitch with the content of like, oh, welcome to streaming. You're already in the top 50% of streamers by having, I think it was 4 or 5 viewers. And I mean, I don't think I've reached those heights since. But if most people are between 0 and, I guess, 4 viewers, and I guess getting you past that point is probably a reasonable approach for some people. Also probably against Twitch's terms of service. So presumably they have some sort of detection to catch you if you do that. Oh no, I can't scroll anymore. Not allowed to color this last bubble. Although now I'm coloring these bubbles, and I really don't want to have the bubbles do this. I guess if I do the background a little bit more wavy, then it could work. I'm gonna try this real quick with the halo. Since the halo is already present. Something like this? No, absolutely not. I mean, it's a bubble, so you would expect it to be somewhat like this. With a distortion effect. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe the distortion effect would go from the bottom to the top. Maybe something like this. No, this. This. All of this looks shit. Oh no. I was okay. I'm gonna go leave the halo be a halo. It has to, yeah. Just needs to stay like that. This is awful. Alright, back to the face. I guess I have this character has these kind of sideburns, and I'm not quite sure what to do with them. It could be a little bit darker, so I'm gonna go once again with a darker red. Maybe much darker? No, much darker would be maybe a little bit brighter. Maybe kind of pinkish. I'm gonna try out a few things for this area. Oh, what did I just do? Alright. Brightish pink. Brightish pink is always a good start. Yeah. Does this look reasonable? I'm gonna have to check this. First I'm gonna color it, then I'm gonna go really far away and take a very critical look at it, because it might look a little bit silly. Oh. Okay, so it kind of looks like a very organic flap that is coming like flapping onto the face, and it looks a bit scary in that way, or unsettling at least. It looks like there's something wrong with the face, or like a wound opening up or something like that. I'm gonna try it on the other side as well now. I'm gonna make it worse before I decide if it's good or not. But yeah, I guess if I look at human skin, if you have scars or something like that, they also are in a slightly brighter color. So putting something like that even onto a different skin color could be very weird looking. Yeah, maybe it needs to be a completely different color. Maybe it needs to be... Oh, actually, I can just adjust the color again and figure out which one I want. Yeah, I think pink doesn't super... Although some of the, I guess, more neon pinks kind of work. Blue honestly doesn't look too bad. Neither does turquoise. All of these look really interesting. Green also looks really good. Yeah, yellow looks a little bit too much like yellow hair color, but also kind of good. Oh no. All of these look great. I might go with green like this. Kind of like this effect here. Although maybe it's too extreme. It's crazy that basically everything works in that area. I guess it's almost like, because it is like in a sideburny area, it's almost like it's sideburns. And then with hair color, obviously, you can basically go with every hair color and it looks good. I think in terms of hair color, I haven't tried too much in my life. In some areas because I wasn't feeling like I could pull it off, and then later on because I have a job where I have to talk to people who are, at least some of them, on the more conservative side. So it would probably be not that helpful to have a very bright hair color. But I've seen people pull off really, really beautiful hair colors. And now we're going with very much teal turquoise. I'm keeping this all the same layer so that if I decide that this color isn't what it's supposed to be, then we can kind of change it all at once. Oh yeah, it is very much... it is giving a bit cyberpunk. I guess, yeah, I mean, cyberpunk itself is great, and they have similar, I guess, vibes. There are these, I guess, net runners with the tentacly appendages where they plug into the matrix. So that kind of goes into a similar way. Obviously, in that area they are kind of a lot more gray and blue than bright and colorful. Oh, okay. I think color theme wise, I very much enjoy having... And why can't I draw here? Oh, because I'm erasing still. Color theme wise, I really like having this very vibrant set of colors. I think it's gonna look kind of like a splash of colors on a I don't know what these plates are that artists use for painting stuff. I don't even know the name in German, never mind in any other language. Maybe I'm gonna color most of the I wanted to say noodly bits, the noodly appendages in this kind of bright teal color. And then we can kind of see if it looks like it fits well. I guess aesthetic. Oh, no, I'm erasing still. Still erasing. Still erasing. Thank you. Sometimes the button doesn't want to go back immediately. Oh no, I think this is a different... That's not part of the noodly tentacle. I don't know if this is a normal noodly tentacle. Oh, but it looks so nice. I think having most of these a similar color kind of gives the entire head area a theme, or at least a coherent color theme, yeah. So it's gonna look quite nice. It is getting quite a kind of late for me. Although spending the middle of the night drawing is so much nicer than spending it, I guess, tilting a chess is what I did yesterday. Which was severely less enjoyable. Doesn't help that I'm not very good, so it's very easy to tilt. Oh. Oh yeah, sometimes the drawing tablet really doesn't want me to switch between eraser and pencil. Oh, brush. Brush, not pencil. I'm kind of excited to zoom out in a bit and see if this works color-wise and if this has a nice effect. I think the teal and the purple work really well together. So having this color combo would look really nice. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna stay zoomed in for a little bit longer until I finish all of the, I guess, at least the parts that I can identify as the appendages. The noodly bits. Yeah, here's one more. And I think that's it. Oh no. This is getting very... Oh no, it's getting very close to the edge of my drawing tablet. My drawing tablet doesn't cover the entire screen because the tablet itself isn't super large. So it is... Oh no, yeah. So I'm choosing to make it be a smaller part of the screen so that I can actually hit stuff with it and draw stuff with it. Oh, I went very extravagant with the lines here. I guess this is still part of it. I think roughly, yeah. Okay, let's zoom out. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, yes. I think it kind of is doing a... Oh, what's the aesthetic that I'm thinking of? Kind of like rave goth? Or just rave aesthetic in general? Looks very nice. I'm starting to really like it. I mean, I really liked it before that as well. But now I'm being really fond of it. Alright, I'm gonna color a few more, I guess, non-bulbous tentacles with this as well, just to see if the color can work as a mainstay. Yeah, and I think if it continues on in some of the other areas, I think just having all of the tentacly parts this color could be really nice. Obviously it's going to be a bit of a mess to then figure out, and a bit of a mess to then shade all of that so it doesn't look super samey but actually unique and different. But with the shading I have to kind of figure out how to do that anyway. I don't fully remember how to shade properly. Oh, but that's going to be so exciting. That's going to make this entire thing so much more, I guess, vibrant and nice, and so much more, I don't want to say colorful, but usually the difference or the jump from image quality between pre-shaded and post-shaded is insane. Before that it kind of looks like a draw your own adventure thing, and after that it looks like a real image. And I really hope that that's exactly what's going to happen here, and that I'm not going to end up really disliking the shading part, because it's definitely also just possible that I want to keep it unshaded and kind of in this very flat design, which could look really cool as well. I'm gonna leave that as an option depending on how the shading looks. I might just keep it this way. I think when I was in school I had a teacher who would always yell at us if we used black or white for shading, because it does look kind of nicer if you use the darker version of a color for shading. I don't know if it's exactly the same in digital painting, because obviously here if you do an opacity you are basically just simulating a darker, I guess you're not. I guess a darker version of a color is then still different. I'm gonna play around with that a little bit, but that is probably not gonna happen this time, and probably not gonna happen next time. It is probably something for maybe in a week or two, once I'm at a point where all the colors are done. And from the looks of it, I will have to redo at least a little bit of the line work. That might take quite a long time, but in drawing with this I realized that there are areas where the line work makes a difference, and very much makes a noticeable difference. With the line work being broken and being kind of low quality at the moment, partly. So I have to redo some or a lot of it. Oh, but I really like how it turns out. I think it's gonna be really, really cool looking. Currently the top right is missing a bit of the bright teal. And the even better thing is that I can always switch between hair colors. Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, I just realized here I just missed an entire thing. This is supposed to be at least continued, if not expanded, color-wise. And I just left it out in the open. Oh no, it's vanishing into nothingness. Yeah, I'll have to fix that one in post, or rather between streaming sessions. All right. Almost beautiful. And maybe with enough time, the colors are gonna look really pretty. Even behind the bubbles, is what I meant to say. So I think these, I guess, knifey parts, like this area here. Oh god, I just wanted to highlight it, and instead I drew in front of behind everything. Then we go to the uppermost layer here. Yeah, this one, this area. That could be like a really nice steely blue, and then contrast everything else around it, and maybe mesh well with. I'm gonna try that right now. Oh, but first I wanted to play around with the color scheme a little bit. So let's just... I mean, this color is really nice and I really like it. I'm gonna try... Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Which layer is it? Which layer is the tentacle layer? Not the tentacle layer. I should have named it differently. It's also not this one. Which one is the correct layer? Oh no. Is it layer 28? Oh no, it's layer 28. Let me rename that really quickly. Alright, let's play around with color a bit. Let's see, we have teal, which looks really nice, really bright. We can have it a little bit more yellow, which honestly, it looks kind of nice. I'm just worried that it then looks like this person or thing is blonde, which would be fine, but it almost is a bit too normal. But it does look kind of, it looks kind of like a gold accent. But also looks really cool. Then we have orange. I think orange and all of the red colors are maybe a little bit too close to the rest of the skin color. Although if I want to make a more, I guess, cohesive, complete thing, where everything is with a matching color, then I probably would go for something like this pink. Then we have blue, which is fine. I think blue is not that exciting right here. And we have teal, which depending on what the background turns out to be, teal might be really neat. And it could be really good looking. I'm gonna have to, I guess, play with that at the very end. Oh, okay, and I'm already back at the start. So this kind of greenish teal is the current spot where I'm gonna leave the hair. There is this area, which definitely is also part of the tentacly bits. So let me quickly color this. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Let me switch back to my pencil, brush. Thank you. Alright. I'm gonna stop really soon, but I kinda want to play around with this, I mean, almost knife-looking thing. I want to quickly name the layer knife. Know what the hell I was painting here. And I want a kind of steely blue thing. So I assume a gray that is kind of going into blue. What about this color? Oh. Maybe that is maybe that is too much like the background. I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter. Or maybe a little bit darker? Let me check. This color. Oh, again, very, very much like the background. Although this could work. I'm gonna fully color this and then we can play around once again with the... Oh, I'm in front of this other layer. And then we can play around with the colors a little bit and see which color works the best. Maybe this works really well. Maybe I have to not show the actual background when I try this one out. So we just remove the background layer. Oh no, it looks a bit weird now. I don't know if I like it. And definitely, it does definitely show a lot more where I missed spots. But it could work really well. I think if more of these things are colored in, it looks so different. If more of these are colored in, it's gonna be quite nice. Maybe with this kind of steely blue. At the moment, at least on a white background, I hate this white background. I despise it. I'm gonna change back as soon as I can, because this is not very nice to draw on. It almost feels like switching from a nice canvas to a paper. Alright, much better now. Couldn't even finish it without switching back. So yeah, Val, if you are interested in seeing the final thing, I am definitely gonna post it on the YouTube channel, the VOD, once I'm done. And I might do a quick, I guess, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? The entire drawing is in one sequence. I might try to do that, but I think with the amount of footage I've kind of lost and the amount of footage that is unusable, I might not be able to do that. But I'm definitely going to post it on YouTube, so if you're interested in seeing that once it's done, you can check it out there. And I mean, it shouldn't take that much longer. Like, I took a bit of a break from drawing this because I was extremely upset after losing this, and because the past few days have been a bit hard for personal reasons. But I mean, I'm probably aiming to finish it in the next week. That is, I mean, I'm saying that right now. It's gonna end up being 2 or 3 weeks. Oh yeah, I kind of like this now a lot more steely element in here for all of the more steely looking parts. I'm gonna quickly, before I miss that part, oh, wait, why am I not allowed to? Oh, because I'm still using the eraser. Come on, let me go back to the pencil. I'm gonna quickly color in this last remaining tentacle. And then I'm gonna stop streaming for the night. Genuinely thank you so much for watching and chatting. I'm usually fine just streaming these and chatting to myself. But it is also really nice to have someone who does the same, wow, this looks really good, when I say, wow, this looks really good. When a color really pops and works. So yeah, thank you. I'm probably gonna head off now. I will be back in, probably not tomorrow, but maybe the day after. And all of the streams are gonna be uploaded on YouTube, at least from now on. I fixed most of my audio issues, and I'm hoping I'm gonna quickly save this one right now before it gets taken away by the Photoshop gods again. I'm going to continue this in the next few days and weeks, and maybe we'll see each other again. Have a good one. Bye bye.